Can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, give me a yes. On my end, it looks like it's giving me an ad that I can't skip. So I don't know why it gives these ads before I go, but if you can hear me, give me a yes. If not, oh, you guys can actually hear me. Okay, good. I didn't know that. That's hilarious. I'm glad that you guys can hear me. Perfect. Hopefully the mic quality is okay. Hopefully I'm not coming in too strong. Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Like I said, I was getting up that video, and YouTube can be kind of slow sometimes with the uploading. So sometimes you have to wait a little bit longer, even for putting up thumbnails. Sometimes it can just take some time. Sometimes you have to do it twice. So it took me a little bit more time than I actually thought. But Fabulously Fab, Deborah, D-Will. Who else do we have in here? Joshua, Robin, Mr. Allen. Perfect. Great to have you all in here. Right now I'm seeing an ad. You guys are going to see a no signal picture right now. For some reason that picture is just gone. But like we always say, guys, as long as the information can be shared and you guys can hear me, maybe even throw up just a nice picture for yourselves. That way you can look at it and watch it while you're listening to stream. I apologize. Like I said, we had the one stream where it lasted the whole entire stream, and then we've had other streams where it lasted 40 minutes, other ones with 20. So again, I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't even have this program plugged in right now, so it's quite funny. It might even be a black screen. Okay. So yeah, there's not much that I can really do with that. But that's okay. Let's not worry about that. Let's go on to the information at hand. We'll talk about some sleep, foods that can help with sleep. We'll talk about anything that you guys want to talk about, health related, nutrition related, even fitness related if you have questions regarding that. Deborah, if you wanted to get in touch, I think the best way, I'm not sure if you can send direct messages on YouTube. They've really changed it up a little bit. I was just looking into that, and I was trying to actually message you. If you can think of a way where you can actually message me, if not, I can set up an email where we can go back and forth and talk about that a little bit more. And again, I'm very hands-on when I'm talking with clients. So if we are going to work together, I want to make sure that you're getting, as much value as possible. So it's not something where, we talk once a month, or less than once a week or anything like that. I want it to be constant communication. So before we sign up for something like that, I think some nice ground rules would be kind of nice to go over. So we can definitely talk about that more and more. So I apologize for the black screen. It looks like that picture's gone, but all good. Let's just keep rolling with it. And good day, Donna. Thank you so much for coming in. So let's get right into it and talk about a little bit about foods that can help with sleep. So again, I just want to emphasize this, and even the video that I put up today, it was on passion flower tea. I found it very interesting. It was the first ever passion flower video that I actually did on this channel, believe it or not. I think in the last 7 years. So very interesting to research that channel, or to research that information, and then be able to put it up on the channel. So that was great. Hopefully you guys aren't getting desktop audio. If you are, I'm going to turn that right off. But hopefully you guys can just hear me right now. It looks like my audio is just fine, but I don't want any back sort of ambience coming in. We can add that later, but I don't want to set up something that I haven't really gone over yet. But yes, we can definitely email with that, Deborah. So we can definitely be more in touch with that. But thank you everyone for joining. Again, I apologize for the picture, But as always, let's just make sure that information is getting out and that I answer your questions. Robin, Mr. Allen, Donna, if I missed you guys, Joshua, thanks so much for coming in. So let's talk a little bit about foods that can help with sleep. Now, even in today's video, in the video that I put up a little bit earlier this week, we have to remember these are foods that are going to, supplement with our sleep. It's not going to be the be all end all when it comes to sleep. They can definitely help, and there's been studies, and I've seen numerous studies that can actually help benefit sleep. So certain foods, there's foods that I didn't even mention in that video. Like one would be pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds have been shown to be very effective when eating before bed, that they can help with not even insomnia, but just with tiredness in general due to tryptophan. All right, so sunflower seeds would be another one that I would add. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. Thanks I love the feedback. I'm glad everything is sounding good. So thank you, guys. I moved my mic a little bit over and I changed a few of the settings on it. So we should be loud and clear and everything sounding good. So yeah, email. We can definitely go over that email, Deborah. I think that would be the best way of doing it. And that sounds wonderful. But remember, guys, it's not the be-all, end-all, all right? There's a lot of what we call sleep hygiene as well. But foods are definitely going to be a big part of that, all right? So let's go over some of the foods. We just went over pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are an excellent choice to eat before bedtime, all right? So I'll go over the foods first, and then we can go over some of the nutrients, because there's certainly some nutrients out there that are going to help. So I'm talking about like your micronutrients, not macro, so not really protein or anything like that. Micronutrients. So we'll definitely get into that a little bit later. Now, one interesting food that kind of came up in my research that I have done a video on, but I didn't know it was so successful with helping people with insomnia, and that is tart cherry juice. All right, so tart cherry juice. Make sure it's not the cherry juice that has a lot of sugar, a lot of preservatives, or anything like that. You want to make sure it's tart cherry juice. Sorry, guys, just let me fix one thing on my end here. So it's pretty amazing, even with the tart cherry juice. And you know what? Some people eat just straight up cherries in general, tart cherries. So it doesn't have to just be the cherry juice. I know I put that in the video, but tart cherries themselves, several studies show the sleep benefits of those who end up drinking tart cherry juice per day. All right, so you have to drink it. It's not one of those things where you can drink, twice a week, 3 times a week. If you are looking to improve your sleep, again, improve the quality of sleep. A lot of people deal with disturbed sleep. So by disturbed sleep, I mean that they're waking up multiple times during the day. To be able to get the benefits of tart cherry juice, it's one of those things that we have to be consuming on a regular basis. So basically, nighttime. Every night we want to make sure that we're drinking tart cherry juice. Again, tart cherry juice, 1 glass, 1 serving. We don't need to overdo it. Once per day. Okay, and the studies have found that it can help increase total sleep time, so sleep duration, which is excellent, but also higher sleep efficiency. And when they say sleep efficiency, it's basically just meaning sleep quality. So when you wake up, you're feeling more refreshed, you have more energy, and you're not getting that disturbed sleep. Because when we wake up multiple times during the day, it's really throwing off our circadian rhythm, all right? If you don't know what circadian rhythm is, maybe give that a quick Google search. But we really want to regulate that circadian rhythm in order to promote healthy sleep. Now, one of the reasons why tart cherry juice is so effective, and again, tart cherries as well, it doesn't have to just be tart cherry juice. One of the reasons why it's so effective with helping us with sleep, and this was really interesting for me to research, is that it has very high concentrations of melatonin, all right? And that's our sleep hormone. And that's why a lot of people will supplement with melatonin. So if you have trouble sleeping, melatonin is going to be something that's very helpful for you. Now, I also just want to add in, and this wasn't really something I had thought of before, but now that I'm mentioning melatonin is great for helping you fall asleep. So keep that in mind. It's not something that's going to be, that's going to help keep you asleep the whole entire night. So if you're dealing with trouble falling asleep, that initial period of getting into bed and not being able to fall asleep, that's when melatonin or supplementing with it or the tart cherry juice is really going to be most effective. And the reason for this is sometimes I'll hear clients say, "Oh, I just couldn't wake up this morning. I took melatonin last night." Or, I woke up really groggy because I took melatonin last night. The half-life of melatonin is very short. I believe it's something like 30 minutes. I could be wrong on that. It might even be quicker. It might be 20 to 30 minutes, something like that. So what that's telling us is we're not taking a bunch of melatonin. All right? So a lot of that melatonin is out of our system within hours after taking it. Okay, so when people say, "I feel groggy because I took melatonin last night," the melatonin when we wake up is usually not even in our body anymore. All right, so that's why it's not going to really help you stay asleep. It's going to help with that initial falling asleep process. So I just want to make that clear because a lot of people will try to supplement with melatonin to help them get a longer sleep with sleep duration. Yes, it might help a little bit at the beginning, and melatonin is our sleep hormone. But again, it's really going to be most effective when we're trying to fall asleep. And that's why people will take it like 30 minutes, 15 minutes before bed. That's when they're taking the supplement. And that's when you want to drink the tart cherry juice as well. And a lot of the other foods that we mentioned. When you speak about tryptophan, turkey, yes, turkey is actually, you're right, D. Will, turkey is actually very high in tryptophan. It's a great source of tryptophan. And remember, it's almost like a trifecta. All right, so there's 3 things that we're looking for: tryptophan, serotonin, and then our melatonin. Okay. Serotonin converted into melatonin, tryptophan, same thing. All right, we're looking for that melatonin, the sleep hormone. What are the side effects of melatonin? Well, I haven't really come across any, unless you're sensitive to it or anything like that. There's not really very many side effects that I've read. D. Will, we produce melatonin naturally in our own bodies. So when we supplement with it, we're just taking in more melatonin than we're actually creating through our body. So it is a natural supplement. I'd say one of the major side effects of taking melatonin, and Deborah, you might be able to speak to this, but the longer that we take melatonin, so say we're supplementing with melatonin each night, or we're taking foods in that are going to increase melatonin, the longer that we take it, our body gets used to that. So let's say our body's used to 1 milligram per night, okay, or creates 1 milligram per night. I'm not sure exactly how it is. I'm just kind of coming up with that number off the top of my head. But let's say we're creating 1 milligram of melatonin, all right, and then we supplement with 2 milligrams of melatonin. Well, eventually our body is going to get used to that too, and it's actually going to produce less melatonin than it normally would. And over time, not only is it producing less melatonin, but we actually get used to that 2 milligrams. So eventually we need more and more. It's like a lot of other supplements and things like that. The more we take it, the more we actually need in order to get the benefits of it. So what I would recommend, and what I recommend to clients is, as I take a sip of coffee, take melatonin for maybe a month or 2 and then back off a little bit. Kind of let your body get that reset so that it's more effective. So if you're taking melatonin every night, again, you're going to need more and more to be able to get those benefits. So maybe a reset would be very nice for you. Yeah, that makes total sense, Deborah. I've seen that many times where you're taking 10 and 10 is quite high. 10 is quite high. Again, so for you taking 10, your body is producing much less than it normally would, all right? Or at least there's a good chance that that is happening. You'd have to get your studies taken and things like that, but usually we can assume that if we're supplementing with more of it, then our body is producing less. It's the same thing with testosterone and all that other stuff, estrogen, whatever it is. But it makes total sense, and you can see it. If you're taking 10 now, you might have started at 2, worked your way up maybe to 4, 6, 8, and then 10 to be able to feel those same benefits. So you're actually, what you just said kind of lines up perfectly what I was just talking about. And don't worry, that I've seen many clients do the exact same thing. And you know what? I think most people that supplement with melatonin do the exact same as well. But I want to make sure I get that out there. The longer that we take melatonin, the less effective it becomes, and then the more and more we have to take it. So you started at 2. Yeah. It's funny, Deborah, we're right on the same page. The only reason why I kind of assuming this stuff is just because working with clients and stuff like that, we see the same thing over and over. No, D-Will, I don't believe that your body will ever stop producing melatonin. That's a great question. I don't believe it ever stops. Maybe in some drastic cases or something like that, but I don't believe it ever stops creating melatonin. It might at a lower rate, but I don't believe that it ever stops creating melatonin in general. Sorry, I believe Marilyn might have had a question. Send me a message again if you start today. Have to do house cleaning. I didn't want to miss you looking like you're having technical problems. All right, Marilyn. I'm not too sure if there's technical problems. I think people can hear me pretty well. Maybe you might mean the picture or something like that. I probably won't restart. I think I'm just going to keep going from here if everyone's good with it. But if you have some house cleaning, again, remember, these streams always get posted up onto the channel. So if you have house cleaning or anything like that, by all means, don't let me hold you up. You can always come back and watch the VOD. All right, so the video and the stream. Okay, so no problem at all. All right, that's good, D-Will. I think most people are kind of finding it fine. It's just the picture in the background. The reason why that this is happening is because it's on a webcam setting. So when you set up YouTube, you have to set it up either with webcam or desktop or something like that. There's 3, or through phone, which I would never do because I stream through computer, obviously. I'm not ever streaming through a phone. So a lot of the times when you throw the picture up, I think the program is looking for some sort of webcam application to be in there, but I don't have a webcam plugged in or anything like that, so I think it just kind of turns to black. That's the reason why. I'm starting to kind of put 2 and 2 together. So eventually we might get a webcam on here, guys. I think that would be fun. I would need to buy one, and I'd want a pretty good quality one. And I think it would be kind of cool where you guys can actually see some of the foods and stuff that I'm making and stuff like that. I can show you a whole bunch of different stuff, different recipes. I think that would be really interesting. But that sounds great, Deborah. If you do a reset, maybe don't drop down from 10 to 2. Maybe do it slowly, like drop down 10 to 8. 8 to 6, slowly drop it down, then do maybe like a little reset, and then go from there. And again, that's just my recommendation as someone who is just a researcher in nutrition. So take that always with a grain of salt, but working with clients, that's the type of stuff that you normally want to do. So I'm glad we're fine here, guys. Let's keep going, and we'll keep talking about foods that are great for sleep, or helping to improve sleep. So the first one that we had was that tart cherry juice, and that's something you can easily find usually at your grocery store, local health food store, things like that. Just make sure that it doesn't have any added sugar or anything like that. And again, you only need to drink like 1 cup per night, and it has to be every night because that's how we get the melatonin. I just talked about the half-life of melatonin. So if you're only drinking it 2 to 3 times a week, that melatonin is going to be well out of the body on that second and third night. So it's something you would have to drink usually each night before bed. Also think in that video we talked a little bit about some of the antioxidants in tart cherries and tart cherry juice that are actually helpful with sleep as well and can promote sleep. So tart cherry juice is a nice one. It's got a little bit of everything. It can help with melatonin. It can help, and that which is going to help regulate the circadian rhythm. Promote sleep duration, all that good stuff. Quality of sleep, so you're not waking up as much, hopefully, and feel more refreshed when you wake up. So I think that's a good one. I think another good one would also be, we talked about this a little bit too, and this is very underrated, I believe. Deborah, I see here. Any particular brand? Any particular brand is fine. I myself haven't tried tart cherry juice, but I think any tart cherry juice, and usually what I see on the bottle, it'll say tart cherry juice, and then it'll say no sugar added, no preservatives added, and then you'll want to look at the ingredient list and see as few ingredients as possible. So you'll want to just see tart cherries as its main ingredient, and maybe, I don't know what else might be in there. Water might be something else thrown in there. It might be probably watered down just a little bit. And I would recommend, if you are drinking tart cherry juice, you might want to add a little bit of water in there as well, because it can be quite bitter or even sweet tasting. So maybe dilute it just a little bit. But I think most brands are fine as long as it's that tart cherry juice without added sugar. No problem, Deborah. What symptoms deficiency? Sorry, Zeb. Symptoms deficiency of melatonin are we speaking about, or a certain other deficiency? Maybe you can just give me a little bit more information, but it's great to see you, Zeb. Always great to see you in the comments. Always great to see you in stream here. All right, so another one that we were talking about a little bit was walnuts. And walnuts are a great food to eat before bedtime. I actually have walnuts before bed. That is one of the ones that I will go to. It will be my go-to. I don't have the tart cherry juice, but I will have the walnuts. And those are some of the best ones for sleep. All right, and we'll talk about almonds later, because those are the two that I'll have before bed. And the reason why, we can kind of get into a little bit of the micronutrients now. But again, walnuts and almonds are very different from a lot of other nuts, and even from seeds. Pumpkin seeds have this, though, where they do contain melatonin. All right, so you're going to get melatonin from walnuts and almonds. Again, we don't want to overdo it, but just because of the high amounts of calories in these nuts. But we do know, and studies have shown, that walnuts and almonds contain melatonin, but even more, which can help with sleep. And again, a lot of studies will back this up. And let's talk a little bit about the micronutrients. Magnesium is a big one, and zinc will be a big one. All right, so with walnuts, again, you almost have the triple effect. All right, you're getting melatonin, you're getting magnesium, and you're getting zinc. All right, I remember back in the day, magnesium and zinc, iron was thrown into some of them, but I don't think iron is as popular anymore. But magnesium and zinc were very popular drinks before bed, and it also helped with recovery. So if you're having sore muscles or working out or anything like that, magnesium and zinc was a great way to recover during the night. Magnesium, again, as I've mentioned, is included and helps in hundreds of bodily processes. So of course it's going to help with recovery. I'm trying to think. With magnesium and zinc, again, with the melatonin, with the magnesium and zinc, it's funny because some people who take magnesium and zinc before bed will have very vivid dreams. That seems to be one of the things that people will sort of point out a little bit. So if you take magnesium or zinc before bed, I know a lot of people will just take the magnesium citrate before bed just as a supplement. And it kind of helps relax them, kind of helps them with falling asleep, has a sort of a calming effect. I know some people will report having more vivid dreams and things like that. So that is one of the things that you might encounter if you are supplementing with magnesium and zinc before bed, or even if you're just eating walnuts and nuts, like almonds as well, before bed also. I think Deborah likes hearing... Oh, it's all good, Deborah. Or Donna, sorry. Everyone can ask whatever questions they want, but we'll keep going. I'm happy to answer all the questions. Donna, and Donna, if you have a question, by all means, please ask. That would be great. Cal and magnesium combined? With calcium and magnesium, I haven't heard too much. I know people will take that. I don't know how... I know with calcium, a lot of people will drink sort of that warm milk. That's sort of the old school way of falling asleep, a glass of warm milk and things like that. I haven't seen too much research with calcium and milk actually combined. But I do know that that warm milk, sort of old school before bed, was very popular. So you might be getting a few of those benefits, D-Will, before bed, just because if you are having the calcium, it seems like that's helping. But that's sort of, I'm noticing in studies it's becoming a little bit outdated, and we're sort of kind of coming up with new foods and new supplements to sort of help with bed. But I don't think combining them is a bad thing. I know a lot of supplements will actually have calcium and magnesium. It'll be like a 2-to-1 ratio, just in order to get, I think a lot of people take it for bones, to be honest with you, for bone health. Hey, Marilyn, great to see you in chat again. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Zeb, let me get back. Symptoms of deficiency of melatonin. Well, again, our body produces it naturally. So if we're not overdoing it, with taking melatonin and things like that, then we shouldn't be really having a deficiency. But there are some pretty bad and unwanted symptoms of melatonin deficiency. One that I can think of right off the bat is anxiety. Anxiety can go up quite a bit if we're deficient in melatonin. Another one would probably be, it could be high blood pressure. These are things that are, these are more coulds. It's not for everyone. So just because you're deficient in melatonin, it doesn't mean that your anxiety is going to jump up. It doesn't mean that you're going to have increase in blood pressure. These are things that could happen. Another one is digestive issues with melatonin deficiency. So that would be something, and then there's even worse ones, like chronic diseases and stuff like that, age-related chronic diseases. So that would be another one that you'd want to speak with your medical practitioner about. But melatonin deficiency is something that we definitely want to stay away from, because, like I said, it can cause symptoms that we definitely want to stay away from. And some of those ones that I just mentioned are ones, they're enough for me to stay away, like blood pressure, anxiety, digestive issues. Another one would be fatigue. I think fatigue might be another one. But again, that's why you want to speak with your medical practitioner, just to make sure that you're not deficient in melatonin. Because like I said, if we have those types of symptoms, then that just makes day-to-day life even more tough. Relaxes the muscles for sure. Magnesium can definitely have that effect, D-Will. I think a lot of people will take magnesium for muscle relaxation. Remember, it's for like bones, muscles, things like that, muscle recovery. So I was talking about that a little bit when I was mentioning magnesium and zinc. That combination was really used and really popular for muscle recovery. And it was drank before bedtime. All right, so it was a recovery drink, and then again, that was sort of where people were were finding that they were having pretty vivid dreams taking that combination. So sort of interesting. I know iron was thrown in there, like I had mentioned, but I don't believe it's as popular as it once was. There's just no benefit. You can take the iron at any time, but the magnesium and zinc and melatonin combination that, again, you're getting from nuts like almonds, walnuts, pistachios can be thrown in there as well. That's going to be the ones that are going to help you with sleep because those contain melatonin. Iron, I don't believe, from anything that I've read, I don't believe iron is going to be something that's going to help you with sleep all too much. It's going to help with a bunch of other things. It can do well. I know you brought that up in the past. It just depends on the person. Some people like eating sort of a larger meal before bed, and then that will actually help them to sleep, even with like carbs or something like that. But those are people who are following their macronutrients quite closely. I know those people enjoy having sort of a meal before bed. But again, let's point out, D. Will, and this goes to your point, I think it's important as well. We can hinder sleep through the digestion process. So it might not hinder falling asleep, but it could hinder. We're finding studies where it's quite negligible. Just having the digestion and that hindering sleep and restfulness and all that type of stuff, unless you're eating like things that are high in sugar, high in salt, then it might hinder a little bit. But over time, a lot of people kind of like that big meal and it actually helps them to fall asleep. But each person's different. For you, D. Will, eating too late can help, could hinder with sleep. But someone like myself, I'll eat fairly late into the night. Like my last meal will be maybe an hour, maybe less before bedtime. It'll be a smaller meal, but I'll definitely usually eat something fairly close to bedtime. But I think that's important because with the digestion process, it could definitely hinder. It just depends on the type of person, and it will depend on the types of foods we're eating. Again, if we're eating chips at nighttime, that would probably hinder sleep, D. Will. I think you're 100% correct in that. I think if you're eating things that are high in sugar, again, that can definitely hinder with that as well. Hey, and no problem, Zeb. My pleasure. Always happy to answer, so I love the questions that you guys come up with. Now let's talk about a couple other foods. I think one that's sort of underlooked, and we saw this sort of in the research, and I believe I put it in the video, was actually kiwi and kiwi fruit. So I thought that was interesting. And you're 100% right, D. Will. No one knows your body more than yourself. So if you're finding that a late night meal will hinder your sleep, then absolutely. You'll probably want to stop eating an hour, 2 hours, maybe even 3 before bedtime. Someone like myself, I like going to bed kind of with that full feeling, and it actually helps me with falling asleep. And again, remember, we talked a little bit about nutrient timing not being as important with weight gain and stuff like that. So when it comes to sleep, like you just said, know your body, know what's going to help you fall asleep, know what types of foods are going to help you sleep, and then you can go from there. I know for a fact that if I have something like something that's higher in protein and walnuts, that's going to help me fall asleep. And again, it makes sense because walnuts have melatonin and they have magnesium and zinc. Same thing with almonds. So I'll have almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts from time to time. That's usually more of a morning thing for me. But I do like getting the benefits of walnuts and almonds just with the melatonin, magnesium, and zinc. I pretty much always have that every single night. But you're 100% right. Know your body. And know what's going to affect you, because I know if I ate something sugary before bed, not only is it going to prevent me from falling asleep, I usually have trouble falling asleep, but I also wake up super groggy. So obviously that's having an effect on my the quality of my sleep. Something with a bunch of sugar and something that is high in sodium. So those are two things I would recommend for most people to stay away from in general. All right, but since we're talking about sleep here, definitely try to stay away from that. And that's why I say with the tart cherry juice, try to get the tart cherry juice without the added sugar, because you're losing a lot of the benefits of the tart cherry juice in and of itself. The high melatonin, the antioxidants that are helpful, the other micronutrients that are helpful. That sugar is really going to prevent us from getting a good night's rest. It's very hard on our bodies to flush that out when we're trying to rest. But let me go back to one that was quite interesting to me, and I had never actually read a study on this until I actually did the video on it. So we know that kiwi, and I probably will do a video on this within the next couple of days, and it has nothing to do with sleep. I just really like kiwis. They're low in calories. They actually have some fat burning effects with melatonin. Now remember, again, eating a kiwi is not going to target belly fat. I cannot stress that enough. All right, so eating kiwis and stuff like that, it's not going to spot reduce belly fat. I've seen some videos out there, not calling anyone out or anything like that. Sometimes you'll find studies that can kind of promote anything. So people will find studies that show, in a controlled study, people who ate a kiwi a day lost 1.5 inches of belly fat. All right, but we don't know what else was going on. Those people could have been working out. They could have been in a calorie deficit, while the other people weren't as active, or they were in a calorie surplus. And remember, to lose weight, it all comes down to calories in versus calories out. So I think what the interesting thing is with kiwis is that it can actually improve sleep, and there's research that's coming out with that. So there was an interesting study that people who ate a kiwi before bedtime, I believe it was like maybe 2 or 3, but I think you can get the same benefits just eating one. Not only did they have better quality of sleep, so sleep quality went up, but they also fell asleep faster, so it helped with insomnia. All right, and it helped with sleep duration. So isn't that interesting? All right, so just eating kiwi fruit, if you're a fan of kiwis, by all means, go ahead and eat a kiwi before bed, because again, it doesn't have to be right before bed. So kind of going to D-Will's comment, it doesn't have to be like 5 minutes before you sleep. You're putting down a kiwi. It can be 30 minutes. It can be up to 45 minutes to get that kiwi in. But a lot of it, what they were thinking, what they're sort of finding is that it's high in potassium and folate. And folate is one of these emerging micronutrients that we're finding has a really good correlation with actually improving sleep. So what kiwis are high in, they can really give you a good amount of folate. All right, and it's actually one of the foods that are recommended for people who have folate deficiencies, just because they're such a good source of folate in and of themselves. So high in folate, high in potassium, again, which can help with sleep and recovery, and also high in antioxidants. All right, and again, we're finding out that certain antioxidants can help with sleep. We found that with the tart cherry juice. All right, certain antioxidants before bed are going to help promote sleep. All right, and interesting to me, when I was doing the research, it seems that not only are kiwis sort of high in the folate, which can help you fall asleep, but they're also a good source of serotonin, another one of our compounds that are going to help promote sleep. So remember, there was tryptophan, serotonin, and melatonin. So I found that to be extremely, extremely interesting. Let me just point out here, guys, you guys are doing an amazing job crushing that like button. Wow, we're at 21 likes. Thank you so much, guys. We've been going for 40 minutes. Holy cow. Sometimes I can really rant and get on a roll. So I just kind of I think because I just do it every day and I'm talking about it every day, I think I can rant a little bit. But I found the kiwi stuff just so interesting because it gives you another option. So right now we've talked about drinks with the tart cherry juice. We talked about nuts with almonds and walnuts. We talked about fruit, all right, being able to help with sleep. And who would have thought kiwi can help with serotonin, which will eventually help with melatonin, because we need that to be converted into melatonin. Remember, melatonin's our sleep hormone. So if we can get the tryptophan, serotonin, and melatonin, and I do believe, I'm not an expert on sleep by any means. This is all just coming from someone as a researcher, but I believe with tryptophan, it can help be converted into serotonin. Serotonin can be converted into melatonin. Those are the things we need to actually get that melatonin into our body. So I think I think kiwis are an excellent choice because everyone seems to like fruit. Not everyone's going to like tart cherry juice. Not everyone is going to like almonds or walnuts, especially if they're plain and you're having to eat them raw. But most people will enjoy kiwi. So that's a great way to kind of benefit sleep at nighttime. Just having a kiwi, I'd say maybe a larger one, because the study that I read, I think I saw it was like 2 or 3 kiwis. I don't think we need that much. I think you're still going to get the benefits just from having one kiwi, and it's lower in calories. Now let's talk a little bit about some teas. I hope you guys were able to watch the passion flower, because there are some teas. Herbal teas can be very helpful. We talked a little bit about the tart cherry juice, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, almonds, because they're high in magnesium, zinc, melatonin, things like that. But there are relaxing herbal teas out there that have been shown in studies to help promote sleep as well. One of them being passion flower tea, which I did a video on today. And that seems to be the biggest, one of the bigger benefits of passion flower tea. And again, this was my first time doing a passion flower video, so it was quite interesting to me to actually see the benefits of sleep that actually has. So the benefits that we know that passion flower tea actually has is that it can help with the promotion of relaxation. And of course, we want to be relaxed before bed. So if we're relaxed before bed, we're going to have a much better chance of falling asleep. So it can help with relaxation. It can also help a little bit, again, with those antioxidants. Folate, it's very high in nutrition as well. All right, so it has that calming effect. It's going to help reduce stress and anxiety, which again are pretty much the 2 killers when it comes to falling asleep. If we're feeling stressed and anxious, it's going to be very hard for us to fall asleep on most nights. The more anxiety and stress we have, the more cortisol our body is going to produce. And remember, cortisol is the stress hormone. So that's when we get that fight or flight mentality. So when we feel feelings of fight or flight, it's usually having to do because our cortisol levels are spiked, which again can be due to stress, anxiety, things like that. So passion flower tea, a very, very fast growing herbal tea in popularity when it comes to sleep. They're finding studies that can help with mood. Again, if you have an anxiety disorder and things like that, it might not be the best it might not be the be all end all, because if you have an anxiety disorder, you might just drinking passion flower tea might not totally get rid of that. And I do sympathize with people who have that. I know it's a complicated issue, so I'm not going to come on here and pretend like drinking a glass of passion flower tea is going to fix an anxiety disorder, or if you're really high in anxiety, let's not kid ourselves. It might decrease it a little bit, but again, if you have something to that level, again, speak with your medical practitioner. But there are studies out there that are showing that passion flower tea can be quite helpful with promoting sleep. So I think that's a great one. Marilyn, what about you took the next one right out of right off my head here, Marilyn. So passion flower tea is a great one. Chamomile tea is another great one, and that's been backed by science. There's been numerous studies on chamomile tea. The passion flower studies are just coming out. Those are more new, but chamomile tea has been studied for a very long time, and we see tremendous benefits with chamomile tea, having it before bedtime. The nice thing about chamomile tea is it's not one of those things, one of those drinks where you actually have to drink it, right before bed. You can have it an hour or two before bed. It's just going to help with relaxation, promote that relaxation throughout the night, and then by the time we go to bed, we're feeling relaxed, we're feeling a little bit more tired. That's where chamomile tea really shines. And again, I like chamomile tea because with the other ones, you're sort of wanting to drink them or eat them. Again, we talked a little bit about almonds, walnuts, pistachios, those types of nuts, pumpkin seeds, things like that. With chamomile tea, you can wait a little bit and drink that throughout the night. All right, so have it a little bit. A lot of people will have it after dinner. Okay, so maybe an hour or two before bed. And I think it's great. I think chamomile tea, there's studies that show it has great calming properties. Again, can help to reduce anxiety just by drinking chamomile tea. And again, you don't have to drink it just before bed. Excellent answer for my question. Thanks a lot. Oh, no problem. No problem, Zed. I think maybe you were talking about the melatonin question, things like that, with the deficiency. I'm glad that you found it helpful, and hopefully everyone else is too. I like just kind of throwing out tidbits and stuff like that where people can pick it up, maybe learn something, think about it. And again, I'm not coming at it from a medical practitioner. I've just kind of read the studies, done the research. Don't forget, I'm doing probably about a couple of hours of research each day on different types of foods. Sleep was a big one this week, and then we're on stream for almost 4 hours a week. So there's quite a bit of dedication to nutrition and food from my point of view. So, I think that's where I'm coming from. It's not, again, from like a dietitian, nutritionist, or anything like that. Now, it's funny. I've had some people kind of say, or ask me if I was, just because with the information, I almost feel like I have enough information underneath my belt where I could feel confident in that. But I'm definitely not a dietitian or a nutritionist. I'm just someone who has a passion for nutrition and diet and health, and that's why I've been doing these videos for 8 years. I think the biggest thing, especially as we're getting older and the population is getting older, I think diet and nutrition is one of the most important things for us right now. Without diet and nutrition, there's going to be a lot of chronic disease. I think I read a study, or maybe even had a client bring up a study to me just on heart disease. And now we have people in their 30s and 40s who are getting heart disease. Unbelievable. Just because of the obesity rates and things like that. I mean, that stuff right there just makes me want to get more and more information out there. So pretty hard to believe. It's really affecting the entire population. So as before, we were talking about heart disease as being something for someone who was in their 60s, 70s, 80s. They were having to deal with it. But now we have people younger dealing with these heart issues. And it's not just heart issues. That's something I bring up a lot. But it's also digestive issues, inflammation, people who are sore, lack of mobility, especially in their joints when it comes to that type of stuff. So I'm just really passionate about this whole nutrition thing, and it stems again from my training background. I think it's just so important. So that's why I put up the daily videos. And you're very welcome, Marilyn. My pleasure on answering your question on chamomile tea. Again, big fan of chamomile tea. I don't drink it every day. My kind of go-tos every day are turmeric and green. Sometimes I'll throw in a chai, but I'm definitely known to drink a chamomile tea every now and then. So I certainly drink it as well. I haven't had passion flower tea yet, but that's on the list. Especially after doing some of the research on it, I think it can be a great sleep aid. But it's just unbelievable to me just how much diet and nutrition and lack of diet and nutrition is affecting our community and society these days. We're seeing more and more people being affected by it, and especially at such a young age. It's almost like everyone knows someone who's going through some sort of, it could be diabetes. Again, diabetes is another one. We're seeing more and more young people being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at such young ages, even into like their 30s and 40s, whereas before that just was not happening. Obesity levels, again, off the chart. And the way that I like to come at it is not from a judgmental point of view. I never judge. I don't think we should be judging anyone. My point of view is to come at it with information, give as much information as I can, and how can we help that situation and deal with it. I think that's a much better way, because I think if we start judging everyone, or putting it back throwing it into their face, or being critical and things like that, I don't think that's going to help the situation one bit. I think that's when people sort of lock in and keep their habits. But I think if we get more good information out there, I think that's one of the best ways of doing it. And sometimes getting the information can be a wake-up call to people. And you're right, D. Will. It's the diet. A lot of it has to do with diet. Again, I work with a lot of clients when it comes to training and stuff like that. And every single session, every single consultation, we are having diet discussions. It doesn't matter how hard you work, it's going to come down to diet at the end of the day, and that's what's really going to affect how well you do if you're trying to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. Getting a little bit off track here, but yeah, a lot of it has to do with diet. Sad diet that happens. Yeah, and you know what? And if you're eating a poor diet, a lot of the times we see a correlation with poor diet and activity levels. So people who are more prone to eating a non-balanced diet are less active than the people who are actually eating a more well-balanced diet. So again, it's not a perfect science. And a lot of people would say, well, of course, people who eat healthy are going to be more active. But a lot of people we're finding who are starting out with having a poor diet, but then become more active, will have a better chance to change their diet. So it's not like they were already starting with it. Just because they're eating healthier, they want to be healthier overall, and exercise kind of promotes that as well, and vice versa. People who have what I would call maybe a more poor diet, a less balanced diet, the more active they are, the more that we're seeing that they're changing their diet habits as well. So the two go hand in hand, I think. And then again, coming back to sleep a little bit here. The more active you are, the better your diet is. Usually it tends to be the case that we're going to need more sleep. It's just how it is. We have to recover. Sleep is when we recover. So let's just go over how much sleep we should be in some cases, cheaper to eat. Yeah, in some cases it can be, D. Will. You know what? It's kind of interesting that you bring that up. I think if you do a good job budgeting and you're kind of on the ball, it takes a little bit of research, but you can eat healthy at the same price, or maybe even cheaper of what people who are eating more of the foods which you termed maybe fast food and stuff like that are not the healthiest foods. A lot of the times it is what they can afford, but I'm telling you, sometimes I can make a stir fry. If you get black beans, brown rice, you don't even need a protein in there. Just regular veggies, Sometimes at a fast food place, you're going to spend $20, and that's just on one meal. I can make the stir fry that I'm making. And again, I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. I've had fast food and all that stuff. But I can make that stir fry for maybe like $15, and it's going to sustain me for 4 meals. Whereas some people, if you're eating out, it adds up fast, like $20 here, $15 there. And again, that's just for one meal. And again, it takes some research. It takes a little bit of actually going into the stores and comparing the prices and stuff like that. But I think people who are really motivated to actually eat healthy and search out those deals, they're going to be really surprised that it's actually a little bit more cheaper than they thought. And I've seen a lot of my clients go through this. I've gone through this. It's kind of a catch-22. The frozen foods, again, they can be quite expensive. A lot of the people who are eating the not so good foods, I mean, you get your basic, even like ice cream and cookies and stuff like that. Those aren't necessarily cheap foods, or even the quick process foods, stuff that you can just kind of put into a microwave or put into the oven or things like that, cook on a stovetop. Again, not necessarily the cheapest things. I used to have a couple buddies who would get frozen type foods, and I would be shocked. It would be one meal and you'd be paying $6.99 for it, or $5.99, or even $4.99 for these frozen foods, when you can get a ton of veggies and a ton of fruits for that type of price, and get frozen fruits and veggies. You can buy that in bulk and it's super cheap. But again, we don't want to judge, and we don't want to be too hard on everyone. Everyone has to kind of go through that learning experience. And they have to really be motivated to want to make the change. Stores would put out their blemish foods, but not now. They realize it's still good to sell. Yeah, and even with that too, you can get like 50% off I've gotten 50% off produce quite a bit in the last few months. I don't know if it has to do with the whole COVID thing or what it is. Lean meats, I'll always go for the 50%, 75% off. So again, if you're a little bit diligent and you're trying to actually look for those types of foods, you can do a pretty good job of saving some good money. But again, I definitely won't judge people. It's tough, especially if you have kids and everything like that. It's tough to find the time. But I think if you're motivated, you can definitely find those types of foods. Hey, Kuwan, good to see you. I'm doing excellent. I hope you're doing good as well, Kuwan. Great to see you in chat. Thank you so much. But no, that's an interesting discussion. I think that's definitely an interesting discussion when it comes to, the price of eating not so well versus the price of eating well. I think it got blown out of proportion a little bit, the difference in price. Now, that's not to call out anyone. Again, I don't judge, but I think it did get blown out of proportion just a little bit on the healthy eating, because sometimes you can go into a health food store and just get blown away by the prices that are in there. You do not have to go into health food stores, guys, to be able to find healthy foods. You can find produce, fruits, lean meats, good complex carbs, good healthy fats in most grocery stores. Those health food stores, you will be paying a lot of money. Trust me, I've been in there, and I've walked out empty-handed. I've walked out empty-handed before because they are not cheap. So I will say that, and I definitely, I'm not leaning to one side over the other. That's good, Kuan. I'm glad that you're having a good day, buddy. Thank you so much for coming in here. Emoji King, thank you so much for coming on in. I believe this is your first time in chat here. And thank you guys for the thumbs up. I see 22 thumbs up. That's awesome, guys. If you guys could keep smashing that like button, it's so greatly appreciated. You guys have no idea. You guys have been giving me such great support over the last little while. So thank you so much, guys. So Emoji King, you're a fruitarian. Okay, interesting. So just eating... It's funny because like a fruitarian, I know some people who would consider themselves fruitarians, but they're just fruit fans. They don't just eat fruit. But then there's also fruitarians who are just fruit eaters. So it would be kind of interesting to see your kind of view. As you're getting into that and maybe you reply, let me just get into how much sleep we should be getting a day. I'll throw it back to sleep just a little bit. I know we've had a really big discussion and long discussion on sleep. Some of the foods that you want to eat, some of the foods you want to stay away from, what foods are high in melatonin, what new foods we're finding are actually higher in melatonin than we actually thought, or tryptophan or serotonin. Remember, turkey was your big tryptophan one. Even proteins at night, guys, can help you with sleep. So it doesn't have to just be carbohydrates and things like that. Protein at night can be a good source or a good choice with promoting sleep as well. And again, the healthy fats. That's why I usually will eat a protein and a fat meal for my last one. It'll be like a lean protein or even like a whey protein supplement or something like that. Something very small. Remember, whey protein is out of your stomach. It empties out of the stomach within 30 minutes or something like that. So back to D-Will's point where you don't want to eat too much before bed. If I'm having that, it's not going to be in the system very long. Which food is best for joint pain? Well, that's where you're going to want antioxidants, Kuwan, for joint pain. One of the best ones that I think, turmeric is a good one. Curcumin seems to be one of the most strongest antioxidants, anti-inflammatory foods. And again, there's literally thousands of studies that are done on turmeric. So for joint pain, I would say curcumin's a good one. So turmeric, that's the active ingredient in turmeric. So you're going to want to have turmeric. That way you can get curcumin. Leafy green vegetables are always great because they're so high in micronutrients. But then again, you're going to also want your anti-inflammatories. Fish oil is a good one as well. Fish oil is great for our joints. And then again, stay away from, your sugars, your nitrates, so processed meats and things like that. Stay away from, I think I said sugar, so high sodium foods. High sodium foods are just going to create swelling. Same thing with sugar. So there's a lot for the joints. I would say stick to, turmeric would be a good one. Green tea is a nice one. Fish oil is a good one. Healthy fats, because of the anti-inflammatories, are great for joint pain. And then leafy green vegetables you can't go wrong with. I know there's a bunch off the top of my head. If you need a couple more, maybe I can think of a few more there for you. Emoji King. It's what you eat. It's what you eat most of the time that counts. Yes, if you have to do it, cheat every once in a while. Yeah, you know what? I think it's healthy. I'm one of those people, like when I'm working with clients, they think, I have to eat 100% clean all of the time. Guys, who's going to eat 100% clean for the rest of their life? Certainly not me. The voice you're hearing right now, I will not lie to you guys and say my diet is going to be 100% clean 100% of the time. It's just not possible. You have to live a little bit. And cheat meals are actually kind of healthy for you. And to be honest, sometimes cheat meals can actually help speed up metabolism and things like that, and kind of get a nice reset if the metabolism slowed down just a little bit. This is if you're dieting. So if you're in a calorie deficit, then cheat meals can actually be a benefit to you. And I've seen it tons of times. Trust me, I've been in a calorie deficit, had a cheat meal, not a cheat day. Let's make the distinction. So it would just be a cheat meal every once in a while. Sometimes I'll do every week, but it's usually every 2 to 3 weeks, to be honest with you guys. With the cheat, I think that's 100% fine as long as you're not overdoing it. And I wouldn't do it 2 days in a row. I would try to keep it one day if you can. I think that's healthy, and not constantly be cheating. It is hard. You have to keep some discipline if you're going to have cheat meals, because you have that cheat meal and the next day, you might slide a little bit and want that other cheat meal or something else or something similar, because cheat meals are going to give you a little bit of that dopamine rush. especially if you're having sugar and things like that. We've talked about in other streams how sugar is going to light up a lot of the same areas of the brain that a lot of drugs are going to light up. So the dopamine rush is definitely true once it comes to sugar. 80% fruit, I feel sluggish. I go 100% for a few days. All right, well, as long as you're getting all your nutrients emoji, it's interesting. It's funny, we've talked on this, and I've had a whole stream on what's the best diet for weight loss, even to stay healthy. It's going to be the diet that works for you and that you enjoy, and the diet that you can maintain a healthy weight on, and the diet that you're going to be able to do for the rest of your life. So as long as you're getting all your micronutrients with fruit, I don't know a ton of people, and I've never worked with a client that has only ate fruit. It'd be interesting to hear what sort of fruits you're actually eating on a day-to-day basis. How you're getting sort of like your iron and stuff like that, if you have to supplement it or anything like that as well. But again, I keep it simple when it comes to diets. I don't think there's a best diet out there. I don't think there's a worst diet out there. Sometimes there's not even one diet better than the other. Like I say, it's the diet that you're going to be able to maintain and the diet that you're going to be able to be happy with and feel satiated on. Bromelain for bursitis. Pineapple. Yeah, pineapple is one of your best choices for bromelain, and bromelain's another good one. That's a good point that you're bringing up, emoji. Bromelain has very, very strong antioxidant properties. So again, that can help with joints. Again, if we're flushing out those free radicals and toxins and waste and oxidative stress, decreasing that, then again, that's only going to help with joint pain. So bromelain's a good one, very strong. It's a unique antioxidant. It's right up there with like quercetin, things like that, other plant compounds, anthocyanin. So beets would be good. Anything red would be a nice one. Okay, hey, no problem, Kuan. My pleasure. Yeah, you gotta, like I said, you gotta live a little bit. Emoji, it sounds like you are. It sounds like you're living a little bit there, my friend. But as long as it's anything in moderation. Anything in moderation. Again, the hot dogs and the drinks, like you're saying, that's obviously going to lead, I guess, going back to our sleep, again, that's going to affect sleep just a little bit. It might not feel like sleep's hindered too much, but you wake up and you're not probably going to feel as energetic as before. But again, you got to live a little bit. You can't just live on fruit, or I think it would be very hard to just eat fruit all the time. Can fish oil help in treating rheumatism? Do you mean rheumatoid arthritis, Kuan? Rheumatism. I'm not trying to. I don't know if I've heard of just rheumatism before. I wonder what this. If you could let me know I think you mean rheumatoid arthritis. If you are talking about rheumatoid arthritis, then it can definitely help with some of the symptoms. Fish oil. Okay. Yes, you are. Okay. Perfect. So. It can definitely help with some of the symptoms. Now, I know there's other symptoms, with like weight loss and stuff like that, fatigue, being tired all the time is one. But it can certainly help with joint pain. That's going to be your big one. Fish oil is huge for joint pain and everything like that. Stiffness in our joints. I know with rheumatoid arthritis, I've worked with someone who had rheumatoid arthritis. Stiffness in the joints and swelling in the joints is a huge thing. Fish oil can potentially have the benefits of actually reducing some of that. You're going to want to make sure that you have a healthy diet as well, a well-balanced diet, because, if everything else isn't in place, then just adding fish oil isn't really going to do anything to it. It has to be a well-balanced diet, Kuan. But fish oil is a nice start for sure with helping rheumatoid arthritis. Red cabbage, yes, red cabbage, great, D-Will. Love red cabbage, purple cabbage. Yeah, two in the same things. Red cabbage, purple cabbage, I call it the same thing. Purple cabbage, I feel, is underrated. I can't remember if I just did a cabbage video, but not only are you getting the probiotics and the prebiotics from the cabbage, so it's helping with gut health, but the purple cabbage is going to have those really, really powerful anthocyanins. So that's the same thing with beets. So you get those powerful antioxidants with it, which is great, because it's really hard to get those. You don't get them from many foods, but purple cabbage is definitely high in it. Sorry, I feel like I'm missing some comments here. And remember, guys, it's not to be expected, but if there's a super chat or anything like that, that definitely goes to the top of the list. But you guys just keep doing what you're doing. Keep asking your questions, and I will eventually get it. And I'm just happy to have you here. And thank you so much for the thumbs up. You guys are still hitting that thumbs up button. Again, that just helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I do appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone here. And you guys are keeping the chat going like crazy. I love it. It's making the time fly by for me. I can't believe we've already been doing this for almost an hour and 15 minutes. You guys are killing it right now. Thank you so much. Okay, so emoji: mangoes, lemons. Oh, nice. Pineapple, grapes, beet juice. Very nice. All kinds. Yep. Yeah, those would be some nice ones. You know what? People who, I don't know, emoji, you might know this more than me, but I feel like people who are very, who eat a lot of fruit, or like their diet is high in fruit. For some reason, I feel like mangoes and pineapples seem to be a very big part of those types of diets. Could you maybe tell me why that is? Like I said, I've never worked with someone who only ate fruit, or a good portion of their diet was fruit. I find like mangoes, pineapple, maybe watermelon, things like that. Lemon's nice because you're getting that citrus, so nice vitamin C and fiber, pectin, all that good stuff. Beet juice is great. I think that's amazing. But I always find that mangoes and pineapple comes up with people who mostly eat fruit. Yeah, proper hydration. And even proper hydration is important really for anything. Any type of diet, for sleep especially. If you're having trouble like waking up a bunch during the night, or even falling asleep, you might want to cut back on the water maybe an hour or two before bed. I definitely have this problem because I drink a ton of water throughout the day. I can't go for a nap. If I go for a nap, I'm just constantly getting up during the day because I just drink so much water during the day. But I'll sip on water throughout the entire day. At nighttime, maybe an hour or two before bed, I really slow it down. And then like 30 minutes, 45 minutes before bed, I'm pretty much cutting myself off from water, just because I'll be up every 45 minutes, and it just affects my sleep so much. And I know a lot of people are like that as well. So as long as you get that water in throughout the day, and you're not having to throw back a bunch of glasses as you get closer and closer before bed, that's another nice sort of tidbit that you can add to your sleep. I think the important thing, alkalinity, yep. Herbs for me, yeah, herbs are a good one. Absolutely, I'm really big on herbs. Herbs are one of my favorite things. I have a ton of videos on herbs, even like herbal tea. So adding those herbs and making teas out of them. Adrenal glands, endocrine system, yep, all very important. You're bringing up some great points, emoji. Very nice. So you've obviously done your research here. Fruits and herbs detox. So probiotics. Probiotics. Funny you bring up probiotics, emoji. I think on the last few, we had a digestion stream on digestion, and you guys can chime in on any of your questions as well, guys. Deborah, if you're still in here, Tammy, anyone else, you guys are at Kuwan, D-Will. If I'm missing anyone, I apologize. I saw a bunch of people at the beginning. Feel free to ask your question, guys. You can never ask too many questions, and I appreciate answering all of them. So keep them coming, guys. You guys are doing a great job. But we had a stream on probiotics, a stream on a digestion, and we talked basically for an hour and 30 minutes, not just on probiotics, but foods that are high in probiotics and why probiotics are so important. So foods high in fiber that are going to feed probiotics, healthy bacteria in the gut, and just why that is so important. And I think digestion is one of the most important things if you want to have a healthy body. It's going to reduce a bunch of digestive ailments. It's going to increase nutrient uptake, so you're actually absorbing more of the nutrients that you eat. The digestive ailments that are kind of going on right now, you see irritable bowel syndrome. I have not a ton of clients, but I have a couple clients who deal with irritable bowel syndrome. I have a couple with leaky gut syndrome. So, it's definitely out there. So probiotics are a huge thing, and I supplement with probiotics. Not every day. I don't do it every day, but I'm eating like yogurts, a bunch of probiotic foods and prebiotic foods where I don't feel the need to take it every day. But yeah, they're huge. And thank you, Emoji, for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. All right, Deborah, great. You're still here. Perfect. That's awesome. So it's great to see people who were here at the beginning still on. That's awesome. I hope you guys are enjoying the chats just as much as I am. I'm really enjoying the chats, and we're at 24 thumbs up right now. Thank you so much, guys. Every time I look at it, it's going up and up. So thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's like a lot of mangoes and pineapples. I'm fine, and even like watermelon and stuff like that. I always find like the people who are mostly the fruit eaters are always eating those types of fruits. Mango, especially, and pineapple. I just always see that. It just always comes back. Okay, to reverse that. Interesting. That's quite painful. I had a client who had that once, and it just did not seem fun. How can I connect others to this live chat? I think what they would have to do, Kuwan, so if you have like a friend that would like to join, all they have to do is sign into their YouTube channel or their YouTube. If they don't have a channel, but whatever their YouTube is, they sign in, and then they just come to this channel, and then they should be able to see this live stream, and then they can click on that, and then they'll just be automatically joined in. And it's so funny. You guys are crushing it right now, and we have literally a black screen on right now. Usually we have that nice foods picture, but sometimes the computer just does not like to cooperate. Eventually we'll get the webcam going, though. I think it'd be nice. I'll put the webcam on some nice foods for you guys to look at, and then we don't have to rely just on a picture or a nice smoothie that I make, or a bunch of smoothies that I make, and I can go through them all for you guys. I can do something cool like that. I got a bunch of plans for these live streams. So, oh, interesting, Emoji. That's awesome for sharing. Thank you. Oh, interesting. Okay, very cool. Very wise, I'm guessing, that, Emoji. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. What effects does your pH have on your body? Well, it can have a lot. It depends who you ask, D-Will. Some people don't believe in that at all, and others live by it. I think if you're just eating as many alkaline foods as possible, I think you're doing a good job. A lot of people will tell you in those camps, and there's been some studies to kind of back this up, and that I've read. Foods don't really have as much to do with being alkaline or acidic as we once thought. I think eating alkaline foods, though, is very important. Obviously, it seems like I am drinking coffee right now. That would not be considered an alkaline food in the slightest. But you know what? Again, you got to live a little bit. But I think, if you're drinking, your waters, your leafy green vegetables, healthy foods, well-balanced diet. That's why I always promote eating a well-balanced diet, and working out even is going to help with acidity levels, with your pH levels and things like that. But there's some people, like I said, who live by it and some people who don't. I did a video on foods to help be more alkaline. I don't think I'll ever do another video on that, just because there's so much conflicting information out there. It's really hard for me to answer that question. And again, the people in the alkaline camp, the more alkaline your body is, the less likely you are to develop certain infections, diseases, chronic diseases, things like that. Whereas other people in other camps aren't really seeing that as the case. So I don't know. I think I tend to not think of pH all that much. Only when I'm drinking lemon water for some reason. I think that was the one thing that sort of stuck out to me, or like lime and lemon water. For some reason, that will always remind me of alkalinity and things like that. But other than that, I'll try to eat a well-balanced diet, as healthy as I can, and that's what I'll sort of promote to other people. And I don't really touch too much on the acidic versus alkaline way of things. And again, because when I did those videos in the past, and I think it was only maybe one, just the conflicting research on it and things like that, it turned me off a little bit from that debate out there. Like I said, there's the acidity camp and there's the alkalinity camp, and it's just really hard to decipher the information out there. But that's a great question, D. Will. I wish I could give you a better answer, but I honestly just, I really can't. And it's been something I really haven't even looked at for quite a while. I think if you're just eating healthy foods, like we've talked about it before, your leafy green vegetables, all that different stuff, drinking your water, all those different things. I could go on and on about healthy foods. We know what all the healthy foods are. We've gone over healthy carbohydrates, even healthy proteins. Like they might say that that's more acidic, but we need protein. Even like green teas, things like that are going to help. So again, I just think a well-balanced diet is going to help. Do you will? No, thank you for the question. I think that's great. It actually brought up something that I really haven't given too much thought about in the last little while. So thank you so much for asking. Olive oil mixed with lemon and honey, any health benefits? That's interesting. I know I've done a video on, was it olive oil and lemon maybe? And honey? I don't think I did all three. I don't usually do videos that touch on all three. But I will usually do like a olive oil and honey or an olive oil and lemon. And let me tell you, all three of those are very healthy for you. All provide sort of a lot of different health benefits, whereas like your olive oil is giving you a nice healthy fat, as long as you're not overdoing it. So it's giving you polyunsaturated fats, monounsaturated fats. That's about it. There's not a ton of omega-3s in there. Really high antioxidants. So olive oil is a great fat. Again, just in moderation. There's not a ton of nutrition in there. I think maybe a little bit of vitamin E. But when you pair it up with things like lemon, again, tons of vitamin C in there, tons of nutrients in lemon, fiber, which you're not going to find in the olive oil or honey. So pectin. So a nice fiber source in lemons. And again, a ton of nutrition. So in olive oil and honey, it's funny because they're great for different reasons. Olive oil, healthy fats. And then those healthy fats are obviously going to have a bunch of health benefits for like heart, inflammation, things like that. Honey, antioxidants, heart health, inflammation again, a ton of antioxidants. Could go on and on for antibacterial benefits of honey. So again, that's going to be great for that. And then lemon, that's where you're getting your nutrition. So yeah, tons of benefits. I love that mix. Again, just keep the olive oil and honey in moderation, because the olive oil is a fat source. We have to remember that it is a healthy fat, but it's still a fat source. for every gram of fat that we eat, it is 9 calories. So the calories can get high pretty fast. And then honey, again, is a sugar substitute. So it does have, it is a simple carbohydrate. So again, keeping that in moderation is a great choice. But a little bit of moderation, like a teaspoon or maybe 2 teaspoons of olive oil, a teaspoon of honey, squeezing like half a lemon or even a quarter of a lemon into water. Boom, I think you got a nice mix there, Kuan. I think that's great. A little bit of everything with that mix. Kidney filtration for the missing link in health. Yeah, kidney filtration, very important. I think I've done quite a few kidney cleansing, kidney detox stuff. Acidic, no digestive waste. Yeah, see what I mean? It's funny, emoji. Watermelon there again. So like kind of like I'm saying, it's like mangoes, pineapples, watermelon. When you see the acids come, and I know that you're very much coming at this from a point of view of someone who eats mostly fruit. So you're definitely coming from a different perspective, which is great. So thanks for sharing that. Should you be massaging your lymph nodes for movement? Well, for our lymphatic system, we actually have to be moving. D-Will. A rebounder would help you a lot with moving. What's a rebounder, emoji? So yeah, massage helps with that. Movement helps with the lymphatic system, D-Will. It's not like blood where we have our heart pumping blood throughout the system. We need movement. Massage can definitely help with the lymphatic system. So that definitely is helpful when it comes to getting movement through the lymphatic system. Lymph nodes, yeah, massage can definitely help with that for sure. Like I said, it's much different than actually like our heart pumping blood. You got to get movement, and even massage can help with that as well for the lymphatic system. It's funny because it is a little bit different, and a lot of people aren't quite aware of that, and it makes sense why they wouldn't be. I don't remember learning anything about the lymphatic system or a mini trampoline. Okay, so there you go. So there's the movement. All right, so there's the movement, D-Will. So exactly what I was just saying. Emoji kind of summed it up nicely. So movement, working out, massage can help a little bit. I prefer the movement, to be honest with you, than getting a massage, because then you're getting double the benefits. And you're getting some exercise, you're burning calories, all that different stuff. So mini trampoline, skipping, man, those are, if you can skip for a fairly long time, then that's going to be a great exercise. Even jumping on a trampoline, like a mini trampoline, you're going to burn some calories on there and get moving a little bit. But yes, you have to be moving and everything like that. Yes, a body brush. So there's like sort of the massaged part of it, Deborah, as well. So you guys are bringing up great points. So kind of like what I was saying, movement, we have to be moving, and like a body brush or massage to get that lymphatic system going, because like I said, it's not going to pump similar to like blood with your heart pumping blood throughout the body. We need that movement, and like a body brush or something like that can definitely help as well. And it's very important that we get that lymphatic system moving. And a lot of the times, because people might be living a sedentary lifestyle, it's just there's no movement in it, and we want it moving throughout our body. It's very important. So that's a great question, guys. Very good. Let's see, this is why I love the streams, because we talk so much. The first 45 minutes, 50 minutes, we talk so much about sleep, but now look at all the other stuff that we're covering. It's like there's so many things that we can cover throughout these streams that you guys are bringing up, and that I can kind of talk about a little bit. So that's why I love getting on here and talking about this stuff. It's like sometimes I go back and forth with with even putting up a certain title. It's almost like, let's just get on here and talk about health in general. But I do like to talk about the sleep. I think the sleep is important because sleep is so important for our overall health. And we haven't even talked about like sleep hygiene or how many hours of sleep we should be getting a day. If you guys want to talk a little bit about sleep hygiene, that's kind of like the new fad. But there's been studies to back it up, which are fairly interesting and I think do help a little bit. But let me just go over sleep hygiene a little bit before we get back into the other stuff. With sleep hygiene just means, we want so let's take it simple. All right, so sleep hygiene, we want to be in a dark room. We want it cool rather than warm. We want to be off any blue light, so no computer, no phone for probably about an hour before that. What else is there for sleep hygiene? Usually you want it as quiet as possible. Some people sleep with fans. Some people have a little bit of background noise. I think that's fine as long as it's helping you sleep. But yeah, that's like your sleep hygiene. Going to bed at around the same time every single night and trying to wake up around the same time. Very important for sleep. Again, sleep hygiene. That about sums up the most important ones. I think the blue light, so getting off the computer, getting off the phone, not watching TV, anything that's going to be a stressor in your life, like checking emails and stuff like that before bed's just not going to be too helpful. And then trying to keep a nice routine. Go to bed at the same time. Try to wake up at the same time as best you can. If you can wake up without an alarm, you're doing something right. Because your biological clock, your circadian rhythm, which we were talking about a little bit before, is clearly firing on all cylinders. And then you got to shoot for 7 to 9 hours. A lot of people will sleep for 5 hours and then sleep for like 9 or 10 and think they made it up. Made up that lack of sleep, but that's not, we find out in studies now that that's not what's going to happen. When you lose that sleep, it's gone for good. All right. So it compounds on itself. There's no getting 4 hours of sleep or 3 hours of sleep. It's lost, guys. So there's no making it up really, or I'll make it up on the weekends and things like that. So I just thought I wanted to get those points out there. Geez, it looks like the chat's moving pretty fast. Swimming, yes. Swimming is great. Stretching is great. Absolutely, I love swimming, and I stretch quite often. I do dynamic stretching and static stretching and breathing deeply. Yes, that's another thing that I do with all my clients, emoji. Absolutely. So breathing through your diaphragm. One of the things that I do is a breathing test. Are we breathing through our chest or are we breathing through our diaphragm? We want to make sure we're taking deep breaths. A lot of the times if you're breathing through your chest, maybe you're a little bit higher anxiety, maybe some stress, things like that. Or maybe you're just used to taking more shallow breaths, things like that. Have you researched collagen and how sleep is? Maybe explain that just a little bit for me, Deborah. So collagen and how sleep is. Will collagen affect sleep? Is that your question? Sorry. Hello from Mexico. Sorry, Josie, I'm missing messages here. I apologize, guys. Hello from Mexico. Hey, Joe. Hope everything's going good. Hello all the way out to Mexico. Live stream new here, but this is the way you stream. No pic, only audio. Yes. Well, usually we have a picture, but for some reason my computer does not like to cooperate. We've had streams where a nice picture full of fruits and vegetables have been showing. And then we'll lose it. Sometimes it'll last the whole time. Today, right from the beginning, we lost it. So there usually is a picture, but as long as the audio is working, Joe, I'm happy, and I think most people are happy in chat. Just as long as the information get out here. But thank you guys so much for putting up with that. Emoji King. So your food's for health. That's funny. I've been told carbs help you sleep or something less fattening less inflammation. Maybe a cup of chamomile tea or banana peel. Yeah, I like chamomile tea. We talked about that a little bit, Joe. You won't get carbs from chamomile tea. Banana peel tea. I haven't read too much on the effects of sleep with banana peel tea, but I do believe that yes, it actually now that I think about it, it actually can help with sleep. You see a ton of videos. Drink this before bedtime, and a lot of the time it's boiling banana peels and drinking that before bed. I would go with the chamomile tea or the video that I put up today, passion flower tea. There's been a ton of studies on both of those. Chamomile tea, especially. Chamomile tea is very helpful for sleep. Carbs can help you fall asleep. I'm a fan of carbs before bed, as long as you're in a calorie deficit, so you're not overdoing it on carbs. But again, I eat protein and fats before bed. We were talking a little bit about how walnuts and almonds and pistachios actually have magnesium and zinc, which are actually going to be helpful for sleep. And they have melatonin as well. So again, that's your sleep hormone. Melatonin's the big one. We need to love ourselves. Yes, emoji. I think you summed that up very correctly. We definitely do need to love ourselves, and that's why I say I never come at it from a judgmental point of view. I always try to be as impartial. Yeah, right. When I only get 4 to 5 hours sleep, next day I feel like a zombie, but from 6 to 8. Yes, exactly. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, and you'll get that. Absolutely. 4 to 5 is just too low. And trust me, I'll get 4 to 5 hours of sleep. I am definitely not perfect, guys, when it comes to sleep. Sometimes work and life just gets in the way. I'll have to be out with a client or start working at 7ish, and I'll have to be up at 6, and I might be up late working or finishing something up late, and I just don't get that amount. So absolutely, we have to just try our best, and like Emoji said, love ourselves and try to get the best and most amount of sleep that we can. But yes, sleep is very important. How much exercise should you do to get your lymphatic system moving? Is walking, running help? Yes, that will definitely help. I haven't read anything on a specific time, D-Will, but I think if you're walking and running 20 to 30 minutes a day, I think you're just fine. The recommendation is usually 150 minutes per week. So what is that? 2.5 hours? So if you cut that up, you guys can do the math. I think that only works out to like, what would it be, 20 minutes-ish a day? I think that would definitely help, and you'd get good benefits from that, D-Will. Oh, does sleep help with collagen? No problem. Had a glitch. It happens, Deborah. Trust me. I was having a few this morning. It was Sunday morning, so I was having a few of those. I haven't seen too much. I haven't read too much with sleep helping with collagen, to be honest with you. Now, sleep will definitely help with recovery. If we're thinking about collagen as a way for skin, and it's very important for skin elasticity and just skin health in general, fine lines, things like that, then yes, sleep can help in that way. I'm not exactly sure if it's tied or directly correlated with collagen in any way, but I know sleep will help with those. Especially with recovery. It's how we regenerate and recover. So I haven't come across anything with sleep and collagen, though. I'd be lying if I said, yes, sleep will help with collagen. So sorry, Deborah, I can't give you a better answer than that. Start with the no. You know what? I don't even know how I get the no signal. I'm just literally on my 2 computers, and then it'll go dark, and then the one computer screen stays dark, and then one stays where I can actually see the chat, and then the no signal pops up. So I have no idea why it happens. I have a great radio voice. Well, thank you very much. You know what's funny, Emoji, is I've heard that quite a bit. I've heard I have a radio voice. I hope I don't have a face for radio, but that's funny that you say that radio voice, because I have heard that before, so I appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much. Good to hear your take on carbs. Just discovered sweet potatoes and oat flour donuts. No frosting. The sweet potatoes, yes. Sweet potato is one of my favorites, Joe. Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of sweet potatoes. I've been eating them for well over a decade. I started eating them in my teens. But yeah, tons of nutrients in sweet potato. Tons of benefits, health benefits with sweet potato. And you're right. For me, sweet enough. Sorry, guys, just taking a sip of coffee. But yes, Joe, I'm a big fan of sweet potato as well. Best thing for sleep is to maintain. Absolutely, emoji. You're 100% right with that. If you're in a stressful environment, then sleep is very tough. Like we said, then you start getting the more cortisol. You get into your fight and flight. It's not going to help with sleep. Oh, that's great, Deborah. Your daughter, so is she listening as well, or has she been able to hear some of the chat? Or, but yeah, 100%. I know if I'm keeping a good atmosphere, if I'm keeping good hygiene, then my sleep is only improved. And if you're again, the more cortisol you have, then the tougher it is to get that good night's sleep. So I can definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I would always try to shoot, guys, for that 7 to 9 hours of sleep. 8 is sort of like your sweet spot, but 7 to 9. 9 can be kind of tough. Again, I always try to simplify things. 9 can certainly be tough. Again, life can get in the way, but if you're getting a consistent 7 to 8 hours, it will do wonders for your health. I'm telling you guys. Listening with you. Okay, great. Well, that's awesome. That's great to hear, Deborah. I'm glad you both are enjoying the stream. And maybe I'll just answer one more question. It's crazy. We've gone for over 100 minutes here, guys. Thank you so much for your support and for hanging out with me and discussing everything having to do with sleep, but everything health, really. We've touched a bunch of different comments, and you guys have just been awesome. So thank you so much. But Deborah, we'll have to figure something out. I don't know if you can send direct messages on YouTube. Maybe you might know, or your daughter might know. But if you want to discuss more about what you were talking about earlier, we can definitely do that. Run faster with no meat. Well, yeah, and plus, when I was in my 20s, I could run 3 miles and. No, gee, sounds like you've been through quite a lot. That's interesting. Yeah, I work out quite a bit myself. I'm sort of a gym rat, and that's what got me into got me into nutrition and working with clients and really focusing on the nutrition part. To me, the working out kind of came easy. The nutrition part is where I really wanted to learn and kind of what I fell in love with. I kind of fell in love with both, but the nutrition just as much as the working out. Absolutely. Good. That's interesting, Edward. Good for you. We started out with a talk on tart cherry juice. Dream juice. That's awesome. That's so awesome, Edward. Thank you for sharing, because it's so funny. We literally started off the stream by discussing tart cherry juice. So it's almost like you're coming back full circle here as we're ending up. So that's awesome. And that's funny you call it dream juice. I remember with some of the other stuff, the dream juice that I would have before would be this mixture of magnesium and zinc. I would always have the most vivid dreams, and a lot of people did too. It was well known that people would have very vivid dreams on a mixture of magnesium and on zinc. So that's funny. Thank you, Edward, for bringing that up. I'm glad that that's working for you. And great melatonin in tart cherry juice. So that's why it actually helps with the with the sleep as I'm reading emojis. Thank you so much for the compliment again. Great dictation. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. I think if you're going to get on stream, it's important that you can kind of communicate with your audience. So I very much appreciate that comment emoji and the compliment. Okay, Deborah, for sure. We'll try to figure that out. I know in the comment section, I wonder if I can maybe send a message or some way through there. And like I said, it's always more hands-on, so we'll definitely have to have a chat before we do anything like that or figure things out. But that's great. Love to hear it. So let's end there, guys. Like I said, we've been going for an hour and 5 minutes. Holy cow, you guys are amazing. We still have a bunch of people in chat still. Hopefully there's no questions left on the table that I didn't get to. Thank you so much for the 27 thumbs up. That's awesome, guys. Like I said, every time I looked over, that the thumbs up were going up like crazy. Thank you so much for watching the video today. It's very much tied in with sleep as well. So I think you guys will get a lot of benefit on that. It's something fairly new. A lot of new studies kind of coming out with passion flower tea and its ability to help with sleep. So maybe give that a watch if you guys can. I found it very interesting. It was the first passion flower, not even just tea, but just first passion flower video I've ever done. So I found it very interesting to actually research and look that up. But thank you so much, guys. Like I said, we'll be doing these every Sunday. We'll be doing them now, at least on Wednesdays as well. So Sundays for sure. Sundays is a good time. People are usually off. Wednesdays are a good time. We usually get a good group of people in here also. I know it's a little bit tougher with work and everything like that, but I would like to stick to Wednesdays also. Doing this 2 times a week because I really enjoy it, and I hope you guys are too, and we can really get some good information out there. All right, guys, so let's end the stream. You guys have an awesome day. Thanks so much, everyone. I would say all the names, but there's so many of you guys who are in here today. I don't want to leave anyone out. Well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate you subbing. That's awesome. Always great to have you part of the community, and great to have you all part of the community. I think it's an awesome community. Everyone in here taking it really serious and asking questions and, wanting to learn and adding in your own information. I think that's a great community. So I'm very proud of it, and I'm very happy to have you guys part of it. You guys enjoy your day. Stay safe, stay healthy. And then I'll see you I'll probably talk to you guys next on Wednesday. But again, daily videos, probably for the rest of the week. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Sunday fun day. All right, guys. That sounds great. Joe's summing it up here. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much. Look forward to discussing with you guys more in the very near future. All right. Take care.